as we speak now, we have a proliferation of institutions of higher learning. Nobody is addressing the lower one. Okay? If you have a 18-seater bus and you want to use people from Okada to feed that 18-seater bus, you probably need many Okada riders to bring these passengers. But if you depend on maybe rickety Okada, and some of them will break down and you have to wait longer, what you now find is that the quality of people that are delivered to your bus for the trip may be those who have who are living within that area and can barely afford the kind of fare you are going to charge. The best thing is to make sure that you have a solid, base. From that solid base, why is it that those people who attend very good, those quote and unquote at least, very good nursery, primary, are always sure of getting into the university effortlessly? Because they have been thoroughly coached and they have been thoroughly focused. But you find that this one comes from village, he either has gone to sell akara or gidi, and then he rushes to school. He listens to whatever the man there has to say. He is rushing back to the market to meet the mother. It is an economic imperative for him to do those things. So the content of his education is poor. And the context in which he operates itself is also poor. The regulatory agencies will care less, because some of the teachers will also come to school with clothes they want to sell to survive.
These agencies you talked about, it was in the southwest here, a particular state carried out some verification exercise, and it was found out that over 2,000 so-called teachers actually came up with fake certificates. So it means even the trainers are also corrupt. So what kind of training will they give to the children?
You talk about fake because perhaps they did not spend the time they claim to have spent to collect that certificate. What about those who spent the number of years? In fact, some northern governors were lamenting that almost all the teachers in a particular state had nothing to offer because they could not even write their names.
Oh dear.
It was in the news. So how do you cannot give what you don't have.
This is all part of corruption.
Yes.
We're looking at, what should it be looking like in 2013? You've talked about denuding corruption.
Exactly.
If it has permeated everything that we do,
that is why I said
what is the guarantee that it would not even permeate denuding it?
No. Now, agents of denudation, let us take just what we have said now, have yielded the solution. You understand? If you want to solve the rot in the educational system, improve the standard. Once you improve the standard, it's a long-term project. You understand? Because corruption feeds on emergency situations. You leave the road, for example, to deteriorate so badly. Everybody is shouting, it's okay, since they have seen that this road is so bad, jack up the price, the contract sum, to 10 billion naira. What should have been done with perhaps 1 million naira?
Not necessarily. That is one example. But the fact that the road got bad in the very first instance, even though we were earmarking money for maintaining it every year, isn't it something how do we address that?
That is the point. The road got bad and was not repaired because somebody was waiting for the value for the contract to be ballooned, justified on the condition that this thing has gone so deteriorated. There is a system where the civil society, not most of the civil societies we see today, who are also into this bread and butter thing, okay? We need people who can say their minds because they have lunch to take when they finish talking. They don't go begging somebody for lunch after talking, so that somebody will remind them, remember what you said the other time? And he will say, sorry, I will not do it again. The point where I say genuine Nigerians, it doesn't have to be an organization, who will say the truth and go to sleep, no matter who's, say it, respectfully. Even though those people have done the thing dastardly and needed to have been met at their own level. But you need to be more respectful because there are certain information that may not be available to you. But you know that somebody is in charge of certain things and these things are not working. And nobody is asking questions. Which is why people have been hailing the FOI bill, act, whatever. Let us see in the course of time whether it will be possible to address some of these issues. But definitely, my position, and it has been tested all over, there are research results, which is why I'm insisting on our being strategic, in which case we make input from scientific constituency to make sure that we address our social problems. You don't confront them. You don't.
In part of the president's New Year message to the nation, he says employment generation and wealth creation will also remain a primary objective of our socio-economic agenda for 2013. And he also talked about creating employment opportunities. They'll continue to provide the necessary enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. Do you think government has this mechanism of measuring how their policies succeed, the challenges they're having with a view to strengthening and ensure that those policies actually develop or achieve what they were meant for?
That is the problem. The government in Nigeria at all levels talk down to the people. They tell you what they want you to hear and not the other way around. In fact, let me give you an instance. There was a time when power increased. Some people who never saw light for so many months were testifying that, is this Nigeria? Some of them who had bad refrigerators had to go and jettison them because the thing was now working 24 hours. And so the block and all that, the refrigerators got bad because they were now receiving what they ordinarily ought to be receiving. So, and all of a sudden, dramatically, by the same quotient, the thing nosedived. Wow. And what did you find? Many of those people who were actually the cause of the problem of this country, both in the electricity and in other aspects of governance, came back to hijack the electricity business. Okay? I have said on this program that statesman, the word statesman is not for those who have served per se. Because in many cases in Nigeria, the statesmen are those who plundered the economy and should have been hiding their heads. But once you have plundered the economy even longer, you get more applaud. In the case of Nigeria, the definition of statesman is very clear. It's not for those who plundered the economy or who decimated the lives of their people. That is not the definition of statesmanship. What we are saying is, when Nigerians don't ask for too much. When I woke up this morning, I did not remember there was a state government or federal government or local government, insofar as nobody will stand on my way while coming to channels. That's what Nigerians are asking for. I didn't bother whether I had light or water because I am already primed to take care of myself. And that is what many Nigerians, even in the village, they wake up, they don't know what the name of the governor. Like in Enugu State, the governor have been away for long. Nobody cares, except those people who perhaps have been benefiting by his presence. They now want the order to change so that the new helmsman will be there to effectively dispense what they have been used to. The village man goes to his farm, he comes back, he's sure that perhaps he will eat once or twice. And then the few that cannot make it will simply go to bed and die. That's why you have so many people dying. Go there and look at this. It is as simple as that.
But isn't that a problem in itself?
It is who says that we're in a rosy time? It's just that Nigerians have become helpless. They no longer ask for anything.
But that has to change.
It has to change.
They have to keep asking. We have to keep asking.
The few people who can. Societies don't move by masses. Karl Marx was not a poor man. He didn't come from a poor background. Those who have even engineered and benefited from the system can lead the crusade. Nothing says that Saul, who was killing Christians in those days, could not change on his way to Damascus to use the same vivacity and vigor to fight for the same cause he was against. That is what we are talking about. We should look for those social levers. But because people in governance, some of them are inferior, they feel inferior in themselves, they cannot get those people they think are better than themselves. And if you think that this man is good enough, you bring him to melt into the system so that you begin to sing your praises. It is not true that when you criticize government, as they dub people opposition, then you must be on an inglorious mission to bring down the government. No. It is better for people to listen, people in government, to listen to the other side, because they are the ones that are actually telling you that the shoe you are wearing does not fit. The other one will tell you, man, I didn't know you could even get a good shoe like this, only to be laughed when you are in the village square.